So in this picture you can see the prolapse of the uterus. So here you can see this is the bladder and this is the uterus, this is the rectum. So in between what happened? Enterocele occurred. So as vaginal delivery is the most common etiology for this prolapse, it is not just one component of pelvis getting affected, all the component can get affected. So when the anterior vaginal wall is getting prolapsed here, what can be occurring? Here you have the bladder. So the bladder can protrude like this, cystocele, or in the upper 2/3 and lower 1/3 it can be urethrocoele. In the posterior vaginal wall, if it is in the upper 1/3 then it can be enterocele. If it is middle 1/3 rectocele, and if it is the lower 1/3 perineal descent. So in the anterior vaginal wall, upper 2/3 cystocele, then lower 1/3 in the anterior vaginal wall urethrocoele, in the posterior upper 1/3 enterocele, middle 1/3 rectocele, posterior 1/3 perineal descent. So here you can see the enterocele. Enterocele is the herniated Douglas pouch, and it contains the peritoneum first of all, then the omentum and the small bowel. So that is because of the defect in which ligament? Which ligament is here? Connecting this uterosacral ligament, defect in that. This picture you cannot see uterus, this is a vault. After hysterectomy, vault prolapse. Now in this picture you can see the vault prolapse. So more points to say is that cystocele can occur when there is a defect in the anterior which ligament? Pubocervical ligament. So, or the pubocervical fascia in the midline, and rectocele, rectovaginal fascia is there. So I'll be explaining that. This is the bladder, then the uterus and the rectum. So in between here you have one fascia, here you have one fascia, like a curtain. Okay. Suppose you imagine there is a weakening of this curtain, this fascia. So what happens through this? So imagine this is the pubocervical fascia. You have the bladder here, you have the uterus in behind. So if there is a defect, bladder will protrude into this. So what happens? Bladder will protrude like this. That is cystocele, defect in pubocervical fascia. Like the rectovaginal fascia, if there is a defect, rectum will protrude like this. That is rectocele. Clinical features. So the feeling of mass is coming down per vagina. Either you can see the bulge or you get the sensation of something there, of that bulge. You get a heaviness, urinary symptoms. So you will have increased frequency of urine. So whenever you go to the bathroom, you feel there is no complete voiding, again you will go. And also the stream will be weak, it will be prolonged, it will be difficult to initiate the act of micturition. So urine retention will be there, and stress incontinence, urge incontinence. So when you cough, urine will be going. So that is because actually, the bladder, urethra, around this there is pubocervical fascia. So the bladder, this is at an angle. When pubocervical fascia, this is the pubocervical fascia. So when this pubocervical fascia is weakened, then this angle will be lost and it will be like this. Okay, so whenever you cough, urine dribbles out. That is stress incontinence. Bowel symptoms, again, incomplete emptying feeling will be there. Straining to defecate, urgency to defecate. And sexual dysfunction, dyspareunia, pain, pelvic pain, low back pain, because the ligaments are affected. So you will get pain, backache, pelvic pain, or pain in the vagina, bladder, rectum. Signs, assessment of prolapse. So you examine the patient in lithotomy position. First of all, before emptying bladder, you have to look for stress incontinence. After emptying bladder, the other examination, rest of the examination. So you have to evaluate 3 components. You have to ask the patient to perform Valsalva maneuver. Valsalva maneuver means you are exerting pressure against closed glottis. Anterior compartment, you can use a sim speculum, retracting posterior vaginal wall. Then middle compartment, then posterior compartment, you can use sim speculum by retracting anterior vaginal wall. So to know the cystocele can be either due to the midline defect in the vagina or the lateral. So this is the bladder, uterus, and the rectum. So in the midline, as I have said, the pubocervical fascia will be there, any weakening. Then what happens? Bladder protrudes, that is anterior cystocele. Now if there is a vaginal defect like this, then the bladder will be protruding sideways. So it will be a lateral cystocele. So to understand that, open ring forceps you have to keep in the vagina to support the lateral fornix against the pelvic side wall. If the cystocele is still present, then it is a midline cystocele. If there is no cystocele, then it is lateral problem. So this is very important because mode of treatment is different. Another difference, you look for vaginal rugae. If it is a midline defect, there will be no vaginal rugae. Then next, assess pelvic floor muscles. So pelvic floor muscles, you have to assess in the 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock position. By asking the patient to contract the muscle, you look for this area of pelvic floor. Then why decubitus ulcer? In a long-standing prolapse, because it is the most dependent part, and it mainly the reason is venous stasis. So suppose this is the hymen and the uterus is prolapsed, so the veins are actually running. Veins are getting compressed here, so venous stasis, and that's why decubitus ulcer. So you clean with an antiseptic bovidone iodine. And patient is instructed to keep the prolapse reduced. You have to heal this ulcer before surgery. That's good if you do like that. Investigation includes renal function test, urodynamic investigation, ultrasound to rule out a pelvic mass and hydronephrosis. So, renal function test in long-standing prolapses, because in a long-standing prolapse, urinary stasis can be there affecting kidney. So, you have to look for renal function test, and maybe hydronephrosis and all can be there. So, ultrasound, USG. Differential diagnosis can be some cyst swelling in the vagina, Gardner cyst, like that, or a diverticulum, large fibroid polyp, and management. First of all, prevention, we know the causes. So the causes, how to eliminate that. For example, avoid bearing down, that means training before cervical dilatation or instrumental delivery before cervical dilatation. Such things should not be done. Avoid prolongation of second stage of labor. Then, in case of a chronic cough or a constipation, treat that. Avoid strenuous exercise or standing for prolonged time. Now, physiotherapy, they are saying Kegel exercise. This is Kegel exercise. So, even in pregnancy, the pregnant ladies can be advised so that they do not get prolapse even after delivery. Once if people have prolapse, then they are performing this exercise. They cannot correct that, but they cannot correct it, but they can reduce the aggravation of prolapse. Now you can see pessary treatment. So pessary, two type of pessary ring. So you can see the ring pessary and Gellhorn pessary. So pessary has got two action. Like, in which case you will say the patient to pessary's indication. What are the indication? When the patient is not ready. So whenever surgery is not possible, you give this. Either the patient is unwilling for a surgery, or the patient is high risk for surgery, or the patient is a pregnant woman or in lactation. So at that time you can give pessary. There are two roles, support and space filling. So this ring pessary is an example for support, and Gellhorn pessary is space filling. So how to choose the pessary? When a patient comes to OP, you have to apply the pessary, and you do not ask the patient to go. You have to ask the patient, give the instruction how you are applying it. After, you ask the patient to stand and cuff, so that make sure that pessary is not coming down or the uterus is not coming down, both. And ask her to void urine, and make sure that she is able to void urine without any difficulty. After, you ask her to come for follow-up of 2 weeks or after 3 months. The problem that can happen is vaginal discharge, vaginal irritation. Means local side effect can be there. Other management is surgical, vaginal hysterectomy and vaginal hysterectomy is done than abdominal hysterectomy. Anterior colporrhaphy, posterior colporrhaphy. So what is that? Patient in the lithotomy position. So this is for the anterior vaginal wall prolapse. Here you have the vagina like this. You are incising on the anterior vaginal wall, inverted T shape. So inverted T shape.